Sometimes the most horrifying monsters are the ones who live among us. They don't lurk in the shadows or wait in the dark. They don't go to work. They pay their bills. They have families until one day they destroy it all. This is a story of Michael Wayne Jones Jr., a father, a husband, and a killer. On September 15th, 2019, deputies in Brantley County, Georgia responded to a single car accident. They expected to find an injured driver, maybe a case of reckless driving. What they did not expect was the overwhelming stench coming from Michael Jones Jr.'s van. And they definitely did not expect what they would soon uncover, a crime so gruesome it will leave even seasoned investigators shaken. Deputies found Michael Jones Jr. at the crash site. He was not seriously hurt, but something was off. The stench of his vehicle became unbearable. The officers peered inside, and what they found sent chills down their spines. A decomposing body. At the time, they did not know whose body it was. They did not know if Michael had killed someone or if he transported a body for some unknown reason. But what they did know was that something very, very wrong had occurred. When confronted, Michael Jones Jr. did not even try to deny it. He was arrested on the spot, and soon, the full horror of what he had done began to unravel. Michael Jones Jr. was taken into custody and questioned. The floodgates opened. He confessed, not just to killing the person in his car, but to something even worse. The body in his van. It was his wife, Casei Jones, and she was not his only victim. Michael admitted to murdering their 4 children: Cameron Jones, Preston Jones, Mercalli Jones, and Aiyana Jones. This interrogation took place at the Brantley County Sheriff's Headquarters of Georgia. His method of killing was as cruel as it was calculated. He claimed to strangling Casei Jones, to smothering Cameron and Preston, suffocating them until their bodies went limp. He drowned Mercalli and Aiyana, holding them under their last breath. Michael was not just their father, he was supposed to also be their protector. Instead, he became their executioner. After killing his family, Michael did not turn himself in. He did not call the cops. Instead, he carried on like nothing had happened, driving along with his wife's rotten body in his vehicle. But fate caught up with him. His reckless driving led to a crash, and that mistake would be the first step toward justice. Following his confession, Michael Jones Jr. was processed at the Brantley County Sheriff's Office and transported to the Southeast Georgia Health System for treatment from his crash injuries. Even while chained to a hospital bed, he spoke freely about his crimes, leading authorities to where he hid his children's bodies in Charlton County, Georgia. As the investigation unfolded, his case moved through the legal system. He was booked into jail, the Brantley County Jail, and faced Judge Jeff Thomas shortly after, who ordered him to be held without bond pending extradition. He faced minor traffic offenses, including failure to maintain lane and driving without a license. He was fined $500. But those charges were just a footnote in his horrific case. Soon, he was extradited back to Florida under that judge's orders, where the true weight of his crimes would come crashing down on him. At first, Michael claimed he had beaten Casei to death with a metal basketball bat, but forensic evidence proved otherwise. He had strangled her. In Florida, prosecutors wasted no time. Assistant State Attorney Amy Burnt took the case before a grand jury, which handed down an indictment. They confirmed the state probe, recommending charges of second-degree murder for Casei Jones and 4 additional ones of first-degree murder for the children. With that indictment, Michael Jones was now eligible for the death penalty once it was unsealed. For years, Michael Jones Jr. awaited trial after he pleaded not guilty, but in November 2022, he changed that plea to guilty, hoping to avoid execution. The prosecution was not willing to let him off death row so easily. Judge Anthony Tatti, who had been keeping him in custody without bond at the Marion County Jail, ruled that while Michael could receive life in prison for Cassie's murder, a jury would have to decide the punishment for his children's deaths. The sentencing trial began in January 2023. 12 jurors sat in the courtroom, along with 2 alternates. They faced chilling evidence and saw the reality of Michael's crimes. They listened to testimonies. They heard about the brutal way each one of his children were killed. And when it came time to decide his fate, they had only one answer, one verdict: death for all counts. Therefore, on April 28, 2023, Judge Anthony Taddy delivered the sentencing. 4 death sentences for the murders of his children and 1 life sentence for the murder of his wife, no parole. These would be consecutive terms. Michael Jr. was transferred to the Union Correctional Institution, where now he sits on death row awaiting execution. This facility is in Rayford, Florida. Even now, he's trying to fight his fate. His attorneys, Nancy Ryan and Robert Pierce III, have helped him file appeals, arguing that he should be allowed to withdraw his guilty plea and have his death sentences overturned. But prosecutor Naomi Nichols is determined to make sure that does not happen. For now, Michael Jones Jr. remains locked away. His family, Cassie, Cameron, Preston, Mercalli, and Aiyana, can finally rest in peace. Thank you for listening to this episode of Strawberry Ink. This case reminds us that evil can exist behind the most ordinary of faces. That sometimes the people who are supposed to love us the most can be the ones who hurt us in ways we never see coming. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, follow for more deep dives into the world of true crime. Until next time, stay safe and take care. Have a good rest of your day and may the family rest in peace.